got there. We got there in the end there. I just thought, oh my gosh, where's that time gone? Should be going to the video now. So there we go. It's lovely to see you across here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel for door number 7 of our Advent calendar. We're our first week in. What a week it's been so far with all of the items behind the doors. We've had stamps, we've had dies, we've had folders, we've had stencils, we've had glitter glues. Yeah, so many great things. We're going to start to combine some of the things together over the last remaining, well, couple of weeks of our Advent calendar. So as I said, you're here watching on Crafter's Companion, Craig Lair's Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for everyone that's been watching over the last week. It's been incredible to see how many of you have actually been watching the videos and leaving the feedback in the comments. So I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you'll continue to watch over the next couple of weeks while we get up to door number 24 or day number 24. While you're here, if you haven't already, then do please subscribe, of course. It just means then whenever you go on to YouTube, you will see my face when it comes to any of the videos that I've popped up on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. If you want to be alerted, of course, as soon as I do pop one up, then of course what you can do is just hit that bell notification on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel page, and then that just means whenever I do pop anything up, you will be alerted on your device just to say that I've uploaded a video or tutorial. And then also, if you like it, then give me a thumbs up, because I would appreciate that. I really, really would. That being said, here we go. It's all about, of course, door number 7 of our Advent calendar. So let's bring it in. Let's bring in our Advent calendar so that we can see what is behind door number 7 of our Advent calendar. So let's dive in and open up to see what is here. So we can see by opening it up, we've had 6 days so far, and we are looking for number 7, which I've spotted. It's down in here. So let's open it up and see what we... Oh, it's a bit like a maple leaf folder. We've got a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 embossing folder that we can see here. So let's open that one up, or let's close that one up, and then what we can do... Sorry, I was just asking my certain device there. I think I'd done it in the last video as well, just to tone down a little bit in volume. Right, here we go with our embossing folder. So it's our 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 2D embossing folder that we've got here. So what I am going to do with this, I am going to team it with last year's, you've guessed it, my favourite one, Hello Die. I'm going to team it with that. What I also want to do is I want to bring in some nesting dies. So I'm just bringing in my straight edge nesting dies. Now what I mean by straight edge, these are just a clear edge nesting die. They don't have scalloped edge, they don't have perforation edge, nothing like that. You know, I just love a plain nesting die, and that's what I'm going to do. Of course, we don't have our own ones when it comes to plain edges, so I use Chloe's Creative Cards when it comes to plain edge nesting dies. So we're going to use them. What I'm also going to do is, because now we know, of course, we're on the 7th of December, but I'm still going to keep this kind of autumnal themed. So therefore, let's go in with Autumn Blessings. If I can remember what an Autumn Blessings in. Here we go. So I'm going to keep it, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to use any of the additional items that came with Autumn Blessings. What I'm doing is I'm just using the pattern paper as well as the luxury cardstock that we've got. So let's take my card out. So let's go in with our card. I'm going to use green. So let's use green. I think that should be enough. I don't think I've got any full sheets left. Now this is when we used to do a mix of pearlescent and linen cardstock. So the green that I'm using is the pearlescent green that we've got there. And then I'm going to take let's go. Yeah, like that one. Let's take that one. I'm going to go for that plaid gingham tartan feel. Now for that, let's focus on this first because we're going to do a wedge box. Let's bring in my guillotine here. I'm just going to tidy just underneath me there. Right, let's bring in our guillotine. So for our guillotine, what we want to do when it comes to a wedge box, I want to keep it at 12 inch in length, but for the actual size of it, I want to trim it down to 4. So we're going to have a strip that is 4 by 7. I'm just making sure that it is, I'm just trimming it ever so slightly, just so that it is exactly 12 inch. So we've got our strip 12 by 4 inch. And then what I want to do within this one, let's bring in my scoreboard. So I've got my scoreboard here. Now I'm going to fold it at the halfway point. So I'm going to score at 6 inch. So we've got our halfway point nicely scored that we can see just here. So then what I want to do is I want to get the center point. So I'm going to go up, and because it is I'm just looking for a pencil, because it's 4 inches, I know that my center point is 2. So let's do a little pencil mark at 2 inch. Now that's at the open part. I'm just going to turn it around and I'm going to do exactly the same at 2 inch. Then what I'm going to do is choosing any of these lines. I'm going to come in, let me zoom in here. So we're going to go from this left hand corner and we're going to score up to the top here. So I'm going to choose one of the black lines on my scoreboard. So I'm going to go from the fold on the left hand side to that center point and score. I'm going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So I'm going to go from this point here to the center point and score. And then we're going to repeat that once again on the opposite side. So we're going to go from the left hand side up to that center point and score. And then going to do the same within that one just here. And then that is all that we need to do for the scoring to create our wedge box. So we're just going to then fold along our score lines. I'm going to do that. When you get to that center point, just be careful as well, because you still want that neat fold right to the tip. So let's fold in and burnish. And obviously I'm doing this within the autumnal feel, and the autumn feel, or the fall feel, because of the folder. But you could take this measurement and you can do this with any of your papers or cardstock, and then fold that over, and we've got our wedge box that we can see just here. Now what I do want to do, because that's about 180 GSM, I do want to kind of strengthen it that little bit more. So this is where this comes into place. So because if I fold that back in half, because this is 4 inches by 6 inches, I'm going to take a bit of scrap card, or I'm going to take a bit of scrap, because what my way to do, I don't want to do it onto the green, because what I will potentially do is waste it, which I don't want to do. If there is going to be any waste, I would rather the waste was on my white multi-purpose than my green. So let's do 4 by 6. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find that centre point again at 2 inch. So I've got 4 inches by 6 inches. And then whereas I scored before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. So I'm going to cut from the bottom up to that point. And then I'm going to do the same on that opposite side. So from the point to the left hand side. So that's then essentially, that's given me the exact triangle in the middle. But because it's the exact triangle, I want to trim it slightly. So all that I just do is I just eyeball it. So I'm going to take maybe about 2 mils off each side. So I'm just lining it over my guillotine until I'm kind of eyeballing 2 mils, give or take. I might even come back and do a little bit more. So I'm going to do the same on the other side, and then I'm going to do the same along the bottom as well. I'm going to come back and I'm going to have a look and see. Let's fold that over so you can kind of see. So yes, I still want to trim a wee bit more. So essentially what it's going to be, if I do about 3 mil, that's going to be about 5 mil on all 3 sides. That'll have trimmed. And this is what I mean by I didn't want to do this on my green cardstock just now because I didn't want to waste my green card. Let's bring this back in. Yep, perfect. Perfect, happy with that one. So let's now bring in my green cardstock here. And then essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use this as a template. So let's line one side up and then draw around. And can I see? Yeah, I can see that clearly. I know you might not be able to see it clearly. And I'm going to do the same here. So we get one straight edge lined up, draw around, and draw around. Then all that I need to do is I'm just going to roughly cut this so you can get an indication of the shape, and then I'll finish it with my guillotine in a second. Or you can do your craft knife and ruler, or you can do your V-blade paper trimmer. Let's come along and trim. I'm going to stick my head in the way for a minute. Along those pencil lines. Let's go point to point. So then, therefore, I've got my perfect matting layer for inside that centre. Plus it's going to help strengthen it. And I'm doing another one for the opposite side as well. Stick my head in the way a little bit more. I'm just going to put a little cut line just so I can see it a lot easier. There. And then into there, and then that will be the base done that we can see. So let's move that one out the way for now. Let's move all that out the way, and then what we can do is let's bring in our folder. What did I do with it? Here we go. Bring in the folder, and then because the folder's 2 3/4, probably the nesting die that I'm going to use is going to be 2.5 inches. So let's go in with my dies here, and I'm just going to roughly get, oh, that was a good guess, really good guess, 2.5 inches, which just fits the folder. Perfect. I'm also going to take the next size up for us to do a matting layer. I'm going to come back in with that cardstock, and what I'm going to do is that one. I want that one because that one's like all the colours work with the pattern paper, but that's giving me that deep red pearlescent. I can set that one out the way for now, and then this one. So the largest of the two circle dies, one will be within that pearl red, and then the other one, we're going to emboss it with the folder, but I need to cut the circle first. Don't emboss your cardstock and then die cut, because essentially what will happen is you will flatten all your emboss. I'm just going to use my mini for this. We're going to run this one up now and then feed that through. So there's one. What I'm also going to do, let's do that circle just now. Run that one through. Take that one out. Put that one there. And then while we're here, let's take the hello die, and we're going to do one in green and one in the red. So that's that one. Let's take my pokey tool. I'm going to pop that out, and there's that one. We're going to take these bits out, and we're going to go in with a little bit of the red. Snip, because that will be our drop shadow. I'm going to run that through. Move that out the way. Bring this in, take that out, discard all of that, bring in our pokey tool. And then there's our additional hello. I'm going to pop these bits out so it's done now and I don't forget. Now at this point there was a little bit of a glitch and it's paused, so therefore that's why that last video just ended straight away. It just stopped. So I've not gone any further, so I'm just going to do, this is the one and only time where I'm actually going to have to take two videos and then stick them together, essentially edit them together. So you've not missed anything. We're just going to go straight back to where we were at, where we left off at, and that was with our folder. Now of course that will help if we go back over the top. So I put my die cut circle in my folder and I've got my plastic shim. You can either use, so this was our metal shim from our Gemini Go, or if you didn't have the Gemini Go when it launched a couple of years ago, just cut a couple of shims from your white multi-purpose and run that through. It's not essential, but it's the same as when I emboss with the 2D folder with the G2. I like to add in a metal shim just to enhance that emboss. So don't worry if you don't have a little metal shim, you can just use layers from your white multi-purpose. And then what we can do within this one is if I tilt this back and forwards, you see that you're going to get that emboss of the leaves. Then what we're going to do is let's bring in some Gilded Wax. So I'm going to use our King Gold for this. I'm going to bring in just a little bit of a craft mat here. I'm then going to dab this excess. Now you can do it on your glass mat. The only reason I'm doing it onto this craft mat is to make it a little bit quicker to clean up and tidy up. And then I'm just dabbing my finger all the way around, and then we're just picking up the detail of the leaves. We're just going to work that in, and we're going to bring that in. We're going to then just go around the edge, picking up that embossed detail of the leaves. Let's go in. I'm also going to go in the centre, little and often, adding it, picking it up, work our way in. I'm going to dab a little bit more. I'm going to go in. So if I tilt that just now, you can see, I mean, look at that. So smart. So smart. I love the gold wax on an embossed piece of white mullet. Now, yet again, we've had just that little glitch where the actual recording has paused. I don't know what's going on when it comes to this video here, but I think I've got it sorted. I think it's sorted. So I've not done anything more as to where we left off before. So what you're going to find is for the second time within this video, I'm going to have to then just gel them together, clip them together. But I haven't done anything else other than get ready to layer all these together. So we've got our gilded wax all the way around the edge. So let's come along. I'm going to use my tacky glue. Let's take that one and we're going to pop that onto that layer that we've already cut. I'm just going to hold and press that for a few moments. We're going to come along with our hello. So on the back of the green, we're going to use our tacky glue. You might want to use your dotty tape runner. And then we're going to do our drop shadow. So let's do a drop shadow with that one. Bring that in, manipulate that slightly and press that in. Now this one, what we're going to do is we're going to lift that on some foam pads. So I've got some small 5x5 and I've just chopped them in half. And they can go into some of these little sections here. So we just want to create that little bit of height and structure. Put that on there, that one there, and then that one go into there. If I take these ones off, now because we're going on to our wax surface, what I'm going to do on the back of these foam pads, I am going to add a little bit of tacky glue. So let's take that off and that off. Before I go any further, let's bring in my little hole punch, and at the top what I'm going to do is just punch a hole. Now say at the top, any part of that can be the top. There's not a specific part that is the top. I'm going to do a couple of little dots here of my tacky glue. I'm going to pop that into the middle just there, like so. So let's line that up a little bit better, Craig. There we go. So we've got our hello. I'm going to come in with some ivory satin cardstock, and I'm just going to take a little bit of a guess at the length for now. So let's bring that one in. I'm going to go from the back and I'm going to pop that through the front there. Let's pull that through. So we've got what could essentially be, well, it is going to be kind of a tag. You can, of course, just stick it on the front of your box if you want to. But let's bring this back in here. Bring these in, and then what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to then join all that together, and then once again with my hole punch or with your pokey tool, something like that, with a little sponge mat underneath, I'm just going to go into there and punch a hole. So within that hole, what we can then do is on one of the strands, I'm just going to feed that from one side through to the other. Let's take that one out. Let's take that one. I want to kind of get the ribbon kind of semi straight, and then I'm going to do the same on the opposite one. I'm going to pop them through, peel that one through, bring that in. What I'm going to do is pull that up so it's as close to the centre as I can get it, and I'm just going to tie a little, it could be a bow or it could be a knot, whatever you want it to be. Let's come in with that one. Add that. I'm just going to do a knot for now. I'm going to go in just at a little angle. So then we've got our little gift box with our little tag that says hello. And let's move that out of the way. Let's bring in our little triangle. I say our little triangle. Substantial triangle or matten layer from the Autumn Blessings. Now this, of course, if you're using a dry adhesive, I would stick this on before you assemble it, but because I'm using my wet adhesive, it means I've got that wiggle room. Let's move that in, press that in. We're going to turn that around. We're going to bring in the next one, and we're just going to then add our glue. That can go into the back. So not only is that giving us a matte and layer, a little bit of colour decoration, but it's also creating that strength and structure to it. You could do them on the sides as well if you want to. I don't think it's necessarily needed, but if you want to do it, you can do. So there's our box. Then all that I'm going to do to finish off is a bit of bring in these petals that I've got. I'm sure I've got some brown, which I do. I've got some tiny little brown ones, so I'm going to do dot, dot, dot. Same down there, I'm going to do dot, dot, dot. And then let's go in the dark brown, the smallest that I've got. Or you can take some brown cardstock and take your hole punch and just punch a few brown circles like we've done in yesterday's door number 6 video. Let's go into there, and last one, I'm going to pop that one on. I'm going to move them into place, and then there we go. We've got our little wedge box from a piece of cardstock or pattern paper that was 12 by 4, scored at the halfway mark at 6-inch mark, and then connected from point to point, and then done our matten layer with the green cardstock, both from Autumn Blessings. Then we've taken our circle die, which is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, die cut that, then embossed it with a folder, went round with the King Gold. The red cardstock was our nesting die that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Added the hello that we've done the drop shadow, added it on with a few little petals to finish, and then there we go. There is from door number 7, and that's our leaf embossing folder. Let's bring that a little bit closer for you to see. We can just see there, it's got that little bit of an angle. Let's just put my finger in the petals there, they're not quite dry. Let's move them in. There we go. Bring that in. Let's see, stop that glare coming. hold that in. There we go. So you can see we've got our leaf, our embossed leaf for the, well, King Gold or Empire Gold, whatever one that you want to use. And then you can put little treats in there if you want to. And that is it for door number 7 of our 2023 Advent Calendar. I hope you enjoyed that one. You know, you'll be able to start bringing other elements from earlier on in the Advent Calendar, the first 6 days. Start to mix and match. You might want to do exactly as I'm doing. You might want to change it up completely, which of course you can absolutely do it. You might want to make it springtime feel. You might want to do summertime feel. Even although it's kind of like that autumnal leaf, nothing stopping you from using it as a springtime or of course in the summertime with some florals on the top. It's entirely up to yourself. But I hope you enjoyed that one, and let me know what you think when it comes to the comments underneath. Apologies for those kind of little clips in between there, but I've had to just gel them together. Don't know what was going on within this one, but clearly the gremlins were out in force when it comes to this video. But that's it for door number 7. We're going to be back again tomorrow, of course, with door number 8 of our 2023 Advent Calendar here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. If you haven't already, you know, do subscribe, hit that bell notification, and then also give me a thumbs up if you like the videos. But then until tomorrow, until the next time, have a good rest of the day crafting, or a good night, whatever the time zone is, wherever you are watching at whatever period of the day. But we'll see you tomorrow for door number 8 of our Advent Calendar. We'll see you then. Bye.